Sagittarius, there is something you thought had left your life forever, coming back, without warning, without clarity, but very real. A dream you thought had been buried, a person you thought no longer remembered you, an opportunity you believed you had lost forever is slowly re-entering your life, this time in a completely different form. And if you're hearing this, don't go anywhere. Because what's coming next will help you understand why everything that once walked away from you is now returning. If your heart just stirred a little when you heard this, leave a comment below to let the universe know you're ready. Share this video with someone you believe needs a ray of hope too. And if you're still here with me, in this very moment, don't leave just yet, because what's about to unfold will reach even deeper. This is not just a message from the universe. This is a soul map, leading you back to the things you once believed were gone for good. Now, close your eyes for a moment and let your heart speak. Maybe you once believed that you had lost too much, that some things, once they slip through your fingers, can never return. A relationship that once meant more to you than you meant to yourself. A dream that used to wake you up each morning with eyes full of light. A version of yourself, innocent, brave, full of hope, worn down over time by loss and pain. There are moments when you sit quietly and ask yourself, did I really lose that? Or am I just too tired to keep believing in it? And sometimes that very question has lived inside you for years, like a candle flickering quietly in a room no one enters. Sagittarius, there is a truth your soul has always known, even when your mind denied it. Nothing that truly belongs to you can ever be lost. It only steps aside in silence, waiting for your spirit to grow enough to see it in a new form. You haven't lost anything. It simply chose to leave first, so you could learn how to return to yourself. Some people didn't abandon you. They simply fulfilled their role and quietly made space for what could only come when you were ready to receive it. And those old dreams didn't die. They are transforming into higher, fuller, more aligned versions of what your energy is ready for now. Your soul is a tireless traveler. You didn't come here just to survive. You came to awaken, to share light, to learn how to let go, and to learn again how to trust. That's why the things you thought you lost are coming back. Not to bind you to the past, but to give you a chance to close the old cycles. This time, with deeper love and greater understanding. When you lose something, the first thing that shows up is pain. But after the pain comes silence. And in that silence, your soul begins to whisper. It reminds you, you once prayed for this, you once chose forgiveness, you once believed when there was nothing left to believe in. And because you didn't turn your back on the light is now turning toward you. Maybe you can't see it clearly, but you can feel it in the strange dreams that come and go, in the eyes of a stranger that make your heart tremble, in the wind brushing past your ears like it's trying to say something sacred. Don't dismiss those little things, because that is how the universe speaks to you. The more you listen, the more you remember. And when you remember, you no longer need answers. You just need to return to yourself. A Sagittarius who has returned to their soul is a soul that cannot be shaken. Because you carry the light of Jupiter, the great teacher of expansion and rebirth. You were born to lose, so you could learn to release, so you could learn to rise, and finally, to receive. Not the same things as before, but cleaner, deeper, more healed versions of what your heart once longed for. You might find an old friend suddenly returns with an apology. You might hear an old song and finally understand the message it held all along. You might, without explanation, feel a warm rush of energy move through your body at a moment when no one else is around. Take a breath. Pause for a moment. And if that just happened to you, place your hand gently over your heart. Hold that feeling for just a few seconds, then let yourself continue. And say this to yourself: I am no longer the one who was broken. I am the one who is moving forward with a grateful heart and a soul ready to receive again. Healing doesn't always arrive as tears or long conversations into the night. Sometimes it comes in a moment of deep stillness, like the moment you quietly stand back up after a season of collapse, like the moment you forgive without needing anyone to say they're sorry, like the moment you finally stop holding on and realize that what truly belongs to you has never really left. Believe in that kind of miracle, Sagittarius. because you are not walking through this alone. Your soul is being held by a force invisible, a presence without a name, but one your heart has always known. And if, right now, something in your chest is stirring, like it just touched the truth, don't rush past it. Let it guide you deeper into your own journey. Let what you thought was gone return, and this time become light. Because this is only the beginning. There is a kind of goodbye that is never spoken aloud. No door was slammed shut. No one walked away with finality. Just one person started texting less. The other got busier. And one day you realized there was no one standing with you on the other side of that relationship anymore. For a Sagittarius, a soul led by intuition and heart fire, emotional fracture doesn't always arrive as a loud break. Sometimes it comes as silence, drawn out over time. Empty spaces where someone used to stand. And the hardest part is still feeling so much, but not knowing where to place it anymore. Have you ever felt that? Sending a message and never getting a reply. Keeping a daily habit just because it once connected you to someone. Watching them live well, just not with you in their life anymore. One of my listeners, Teresa, once shared, "I loved someone for 6 years. Not secretly, not recklessly, but truly. And he grew distant. I did nothing wrong, I was kind, I was patient, but the love we had wasn't enough to make him stay. And somewhere along the way, I lost myself trying to hold on to something that no longer wanted to be held." If you've ever been in that place, please know this, you are not alone. There is a kind of loneliness that only those who have loved deeply and been left behind will ever fully understand. There is a wound no one else can see, but you carry it every single day. Love doesn't always break because of betrayal. Sometimes it just ends because it's time. But the heart, the irrational, brave, aching heart, keeps trying to hold on anyway. Sagittarius, your love runs deep, but you've learned to hide your tears behind your smile. You choose to be the strong one, the one who wishes them well, the one who lets go first. But at night, you still remember, you still open old messages, still hear a song and feel that quiet ache inside, and you wonder, how can I heal when they're living just fine and never once said sorry? How can I ever love again when I have nothing left to believe in? But the truth is this, you don't need their apology to heal. You only need one acknowledgement from yourself that you once loved with your whole heart. And that is enough. No one can take that from you. Loving deeply does not make you weak. To love truly is the bravest thing a heart can do. Another listener, a woman named Lila, once shared her story. She divorced after 15 years of marriage, not because of betrayal, not because the love was gone, but because she realized she was no longer herself inside that marriage. She wrote, "I used to be afraid of being alone, afraid no one would stay beside me. But then I learned, being with someone who doesn't let you be yourself is lonelier than being alone 100 times over." So Sagittarius, if you're walking through the quiet aftermath of a breakup, know this, you are not left behind. You are being reborn. There are days you stop yourself just before sending that message, one that was never meant to fix anything, but just to soothe the ache of missing them. There are mornings you open Facebook, then close it right away after seeing they're still living their life without you in it. And in the evenings, you find yourself sitting still, no longer wondering, are they happier without me? The universe doesn't take you through heartbreak to make you bitter. It takes you through it to make you deeper, to help you understand yourself better, to prepare you for a love that is real, mature, and healing. And who knows, maybe that person from your past is still watching you from afar, still feeling the emptiness too, but not brave enough to come back. Or maybe they won't come back at all, because their role in your journey has already been fulfilled. If you've ever loved someone without getting a clear goodbye, leave a comment below. I'm learning how to love myself again. You may find someone else out there is walking this same path with you. And if there's one truth you must hold on to, it's this. You deserve to be loved again without shrinking yourself. You don't need to make yourself smaller to fit into someone else's heart. You don't need to sacrifice your truth to be good enough. Real love will never make you feel like you're not enough. It makes you feel expansive. It lets you be exactly who you are. It embraces every part of you. You may not believe in love right now, but please, don't lock your heart away forever. Love doesn't only come from one person. It might arrive through a new friend, a pet, a song, or a brand new version of yourself. And sometimes, the greatest love of all finds you when you stop searching and start building it within. If something in this message made your chest tighten a little, take a minute to listen to your inner voice. You don't need to do anything. Just allow yourself to breathe gently and trust this. Your heart is healing, even if you can't quite see it yet. Comment below, I deserve to be loved peacefully. And if you feel ready, share your story. You might be surprised how many people out there have felt exactly what you're feeling now. And don't forget, like this video and share it with someone you know who might be in need of heart healing. Because maybe, just maybe, you are the message the universe is sending to them today. Have you ever felt this? A career door you once dreamed of slammed shut. A job you gave your all to slipped out of your hands, like it was never truly yours. An opportunity you spent years preparing for arrived at a time when you didn't have the strength to receive it. And so you whispered to yourself, maybe it wasn't meant for me. Then you folded it up like an old dream and placed it in a drawer inside your heart. A drawer you stopped opening long ago. Sagittarius, I once believed that opportunity was something that only came once in a lifetime. But life, in the softest and most unexpected way, showed me something far deeper. Opportunities don't disappear. They wait for you to be ready. You didn't lose your opportunity. You simply lost the version of yourself who didn't yet believe you were worthy of it. If you're hearing this right now, then this is confirmation from the universe, just for you. The opportunity you thought had passed you by is coming back. And this time, you are different. You have experience. You have a quiet strength that stops you from rushing into things. You carry wounds, but also awareness, and that makes you more ready than ever for the door that is now opening in front of you. A listener once wrote to me. His name was Marcus. He was 52. He had been laid off from a senior position after nearly 20 years of dedication. He fell into depression. He believed he'd never start again. But then, in a tiny moment, while sitting at his usual cafe, he realized something. I've spent years teaching young people how to lead, so why can't I teach myself how to begin again? Marcus began writing. He started sharing his knowledge online, and just 8 months later, he became a sought-after mentor, and most importantly, a man more confident than he had ever been. Opportunity didn't disappear. It simply returned, in a wiser, more fitting form. Have you ever missed a chance because you weren't ready yet? Share your truth below. I am more ready than ever. Let the universe see your signal. Maybe you were underestimated. Maybe someone once said to you, this isn't your field. Or maybe it wasn't their voice holding you back, but your own fear, each time you tried to step outside your comfort zone. Sagittarius, you were not born to stay small. You were born under Jupiter, the planet of expansion, abundance, and divine opportunity. And what you're waiting for is also waiting for you. A career isn't just a job. It's the bridge between the meaning you wish to create in this world and the person you truly are inside. You didn't come here to make a living. You came here to live fully and to use your energy to contribute to something greater than yourself. So whatever it is you're doing right now, do it with the energy of someone preparing to step into a brand new chapter. It might be an email, a phone call, a message from an old contact, or maybe an idea you scribbled in a notebook 5 years ago is ready to be opened again. All of it can come back. Opportunity never dies. As long as you are alive, as long as there's still light in your eyes, there is still a road ahead. And I want you to remember this clearly. Nothing is ever too late when your soul is still calling for it. Whether you're 30 or 60, whether you're starting over or pivoting midway, every step you take holds meaning. And what you've learned during this waiting season is exactly what you'll need for the expansion that's coming. If something in this part made your heart ache in that painfully true kind of way, leave a comment. I am welcoming my opportunity back to me. Because maybe someone who reads it will send you something unexpected. You don't need to rush. You don't need to compare your path to anyone else's. What you need is to protect the fire in your chest from going out. And when opportunity returns, step into it with calm, with clarity, with quiet confidence. Because this time you don't need to prove you're worthy. You only need to accept that you always have been. And if you're still wondering, can what I lost really come back? Then this is your answer. Not only can it come back, but it will arrive the moment you are strong enough to receive it. But not everyone will receive again, because not everyone is willing to let go of the thing that once brought them pain. Some people hold on to a relationship, not because they still love, but because they're afraid of the emptiness that might follow. Some refuse to move forward, not because they can't, but because they've grown used to being the one who was hurt. And maybe you've been there too, holding on to a door even when you knew nothing on the other side was waiting for you anymore. Staying only because you were afraid of what walking away might feel like. But the universe cannot fill a cup that is still full of pain and opportunity. Love, renewal, cannot arrive if you continue letting the past live inside your chest like a ghost wearing warm clothes. It's time for you to choose. Not to choose someone else, but to choose yourself. And once you find the courage to choose yourself, you'll begin to look again at the closest relationships in your life. The people you once called family, blood, soulmate. Because sometimes the deepest wounds don't come from strangers. They come from the people you once trusted the most. There are distances that have nothing to do with geography and everything to do with silence. And some people stand so close, yet somehow you no longer feel safe in their presence. Family and social connections are two very different landscapes, but they both shape your heart in ways you may never be able to explain. And for Sagittarius, a soul that craves truth and freedom, staying in a relationship that no longer resonates is a quiet kind of torment. How long has it been since you called someone you used to feel so close to? How many times have you started typing a message, then erased it before hitting send? How many times have you stood at the door of your own family and felt like you were knocking on empty space? Not because you're cold, but because you've been hurt by the very people you once trusted most. The careless words, the silent expectations, the times you were compared, dismissed, or met with silence instead of love. I once read a story shared by a woman named Judith, 47 years old. She said, "My family never did anything bad, but they never truly listened either. I'm capable, I'm fine, but I've always had to be the strong one. No one ever asked if I was tired. And slowly, I chose silence, because it was easier than being disappointed again." That sentence touched more people than you might imagine. Because so many of us are silent out of love, when in truth, we are silent because of pain. If you've ever walked away from a close relationship, not out of hatred, but because you needed to protect yourself, then know this: you were brave. Because sometimes, distance is the only way to stop yourself from being hurt again. But over time, the heart begins to ask, could we reconnect? Have they begun to understand me? Is it time to forgive, not because they deserve it, but because I deserve peace? Not every relationship needs to be restored, but every wound needs to be healed. And healing doesn't always mean going back. It means being at peace when you remember. It means being able to see someone from your past and no longer feel that tremble inside. It means being able to walk into an old home without the lump rising in your throat. Sagittarius, you carry a deep current of understanding. You don't stay angry for long. You don't want to burn bridges. You just want to feel respected, seen, loved the right way. Maybe now is the time to quietly review the relationships around you. Who makes you feel light when they're near? Who makes you feel like you have to work just to be good enough? Who might still be waiting for a hug, even if they have no idea how to ask for it? You may realize someone out there is still watching over you from afar, but they don't know how to come closer. It might be a brother, a sister, an old friend, or even one of your parents. Are you still waiting for someone to reach out and try to heal the distance between you? If so, leave a quiet comment. I'm ready to open my heart if it brings peace. A listener once shared a story with me. It was about her father. They hadn't spoken in 8 years because of one devastating argument. She moved abroad for school. He never reached out, and she didn't want to be the one to initiate. Then one day, she came home for a friend's wedding, and as she stepped through the doorway, he simply said one thing: "I still have the sweater you left the day you flew away. I haven't washed it because it still smells like you." She broke down in tears. No one apologized, No one explained. But somehow, in that moment, every distance between them dissolved because of one simple human sentence. Love, whether it's in family or friendship, doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be real. And you are not responsible for holding everyone together. You only need to make sure your heart doesn't freeze over. The universe is guiding you to look again at the connections you thought were over, this time with new eyes. Not to go back into the past, but to complete the lesson. Not to find blame, but to discover how much you've grown. You have the right to choose who walks beside you from here. And you also have the right to let someone return, if you know that both of you have changed. If you once walked away from someone to protect yourself, comment below. I'm learning to set boundaries with compassion. Who knows, someone else might read your words and feel less alone. Sometimes, what we need isn't an apology, but just one honest look from the person who hurt us. And sometimes, we're the ones who need to offer that look, to say without words, I understand, I've forgiven you, and I'm moving forward. No relationship is perfect. But some connections, when they're healed, can become more beautiful than they ever were before. Not because the hurt never happened, but because both people chose to grow after the pain. And if your heart is stirring as you hear this, please know, the universe doesn't want you to live forever in this space of silence. A reunion, a phone call, an unexpected embrace, any of these could be on their way to you right now. Not to start again, but to finish what was once left incomplete, with love. Have you ever been frozen in place by a dream, not in waking life, but in sleep, where you saw someone again you thought was long gone? Have you ever cried because of a song you thought you'd already forgotten? Some memories don't need to be spoken aloud. They return quietly, as if the past had never really left at all. The return of the past isn't always dramatic. Sometimes it arrives gently. It's the tightness in your chest as you step into an old cafe. It's walking down a street you once walked with someone you thought would be with you forever. It's seeing a photo you tucked away long ago, and instead of anger, you feel only silence. I used to believe the past was something to be folded up and left behind. That if I stayed strong enough or kept myself busy enough, I wouldn't get pulled back into it. But then I learned something. The past doesn't return to break you, it returns to see how far you've come in your healing. A listener once wrote to me, I saw my ex again, in an elevator. Just for a few seconds. He looked at me like nothing had ever happened. I smiled like everything was fine. But when the doors closed, I started shaking. Not because I still loved him, but because every memory I'd buried came rushing back all at once. Have you ever felt that? An unexpected encounter that kept you awake all night. An old message thread you stumbled across, not to continue, but to finally understand why it had to end the way it did. The past isn't here to be relived. It's here to be gently closed, especially if you once walked away in confusion, in tears, or in rage that never got to speak. Sagittarius, you're not someone who hides your emotions easily. You're just someone who's learned to bury them deep. And when the past comes back, you might be afraid to feel like the small, quiet, abandoned version of yourself again. But let me offer you this. If you can sit with your memories today and no longer feel that same choking in your chest, then you've already come farther than you thought possible. One man once shared with me, I made mistakes. I walked away from the woman who loved me most because I thought I needed time for my career. 7 years later, I saw her online. She had a new life, a new family. I didn't blame her, I just felt something ache, because the only person who ever loved me the right way wasn't there anymore. Do you see? Not every old connection is meant to come back, but every lesson from the past deserves to be understood. Have you ever had a friend you thought would be with you forever, but now they live only in your memories? If so, comment, I'm grateful for what once was, because it helped me grow. That isn't just a declaration. It's the first step in your journey of release and healing. The past can also be a dream you once let go, a plan you once mapped out carefully but never followed through, a version of yourself, passionate, bold, alive, that got buried beneath the weight of everyday life. Do you remember? You once wanted to learn how to paint. You once dreamed of opening a quiet bookshop. You once longed to live in a coastal town. waking to the sound of waves, falling asleep with only a book in your hands. If your heart is tightening right now, don't scroll past it. Maybe that dream never truly disappeared. Maybe you just forgot how to believe in it. No one stole those dreams from you. You only tucked them away because someone once said, "That's not realistic." But now, the universe is whispering to you, look again. Reopen the drawer and believe. It's never too late to begin again or to finish what was left undone. You don't need to start over. You just need to continue from the place where you once stopped. But this time, with wiser eyes and a heart no longer burdened by resentment. A young woman once wrote to me after hearing a tarot reading about the return of the past. She said, "I used to hate myself for choosing the wrong person. But now I understand there are no wrong choices, only choices that help us realize what we truly need." And that's exactly it. The past isn't a burden, it's a mirror. And if you are brave enough to look into it, you'll see an old version of yourself waiting to be held, to be forgiven, and to be loved again by you. If you feel like something from your past is quietly returning, not to pull you backward, but to close the chapter gently, leave a comment below. I'm closing the past with light. None of us are walking this journey alone. And if right now, a name, a place, or an image just surfaced in your heart, don't push it away too quickly. Maybe it's the final piece you've been needing to complete your soul's picture. Not to repeat the past, but to move forward with lighter baggage and a brighter inner light. Thank you for walking with me all the way to this point. If anything you've heard has stirred your heart, if an old memory, a quiet emotion, or a sudden spark of hope has awakened inside you, then maybe this is the whisper of the universe, spoken just for you. To say you are ready to receive everything you once thought was lost. And that maybe your journey is only just beginning. If today's message spoke to something inside you, leave a sign in the comments below. A thought, a sentence, or simply, "I'm still here." Let me and everyone in this community know that you're not alone. If you know someone who may need these words, don't hesitate to share this video with them, because maybe you're the light the universe is sending to their doorstep. And if you'd like to stay with us for the journeys ahead, click the subscribe button. Turn on the bell, so you won't miss the next message that's already on its way to you. And finally, please remember, you are not here to live halfway. You are here to heal, to be loved, and to step into the miracle you were always meant for. And maybe that miracle is already close. Not loud, not dazzling, just something knocking ever so softly at the door you once thought was closed for good. If you can be still enough to listen, you'll realize what you thought was lost has been waiting for you to return.